protesters were protesting in front of Nancy Pelosi's home, and she got really frustrated with one of them, and they caught it on camera. She said, "Why don't you go back to China where you came from?" Now, a lot of her constituents are Chinese because of San Francisco, and we love Chinese American people. They bring a lot of value to the country, right? And she's the one that drafted the bill where attacking Asian Americans is racism and illegal, and here she is caught on camera saying, "Go back to China where you came from." It's just kind of crazy. But
complete double standard is what it is, a complete double standard.
Yeah. Another thing that I wanted to ask you about was, so yesterday I was supposed to interview retired Colonel Daniel Davis. He had to cancel. He said, "Listen, things are so tense in Washington, D.C., with the military deciding how to respond to Iran. This whole thing could erupt in a major war any minute now. I've got to cancel the interview." As somebody who's connected to Washington, D.C., what do you know about Iran? Is this about to escalate, or can they de-escalate this situation?
Well, you didn't have this under Trump, I'll tell you that, and I'll tell you why. Everybody's focusing on the $6 billion, that we freed up allegedly of their money or whatever. And there's a question of whether we've frozen or not, and I don't really care. That, unfortunately, that is a very small amount. What happened was when Biden, he basically relinquished all the controls that we had on their oil, which we basically shut their oil production down or squeezed it down to a very small amount. When he released that, they have made billions with a B, multi-billion, hundreds of billions allegedly in profits. And those profits are funding the Houthis and the Iranians against us. So we in effect are funding both sides of that war, our own defending our own people, and then of course funding them. So it's just like what happened in Ukraine at the beginning of it, the tax oil credits with Russia and others. It was very obvious to me that, again, the media, the Pentagon, wants to get us in another war because, as I've stated, people don't like it, that I call the Pentagon war pimps. Their business is war, and their business is very good. Multi-billion-dollar contract with the war industry. And guess who owns stock in that? People in both parties, brother, the Uniparty. That's what this thing's all about. It's not about our kids getting killed in combat. It's not about freedom. What part of the Constitution, I took a similar oath in Congress, but our military men and women, they hold up their right hand and they swear an oath to defend the Constitution of the United States. What part of our Constitution is in the Middle East? Why are we in Syria? Why are we messing in this Iran, Iraq stuff? Why are we not getting all our oil here? And they're going to say, well, we've got record oil. But the problem is we don't have record oil delivery system. They have blocked pipelines because they claim environmental, 10, 15 years, literally, some of this stuff has been delayed. It's the same with the rare earth minerals. Oh, let's get these electric cars. But guess what? Guess who has all the minerals to run the batteries? China, because they're supposed rare earth minerals. Yet in our own country, I believe Minnesota, they've been waiting 15 or 20 years to get the permits to mine some of these things that are not so rare as it turns out. But they're rare because it's kind of like diamonds. You always wonder about diamonds. They always have to bring out a certain amount of nothing. They brought them all out at once, the bottom would fall out of the whole deal. But they just kind of bring it out gradually. Things that aren't, or just the location might be rare, but unfortunately that location is here. And the reason we're not doing it is because this country's compromised by the Chinese and the Marxists and the anarchists that just want to destroy everything we got. Yeah. So, and sorry, I went to preaching.
That's okay. So it's not rare earth minerals or rare oil. It's the permits that are rare.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. It's like these are harder to get than diamonds. My gosh.
Obviously.